How y'all doing? This is Richman R&B and this is another episode of Retro TV 91, and this time we're reviewing Teen Wolf Season 1, Episode 6. And what happens on this week's episode, Scott's in, I'm guessing, the grocery store, and he's in the parking garage, and he's trying to look for his car, and he can't find it. And he uses his alarm to find his car, and when he does, it makes it look like the Alpha's coming after to get him, so he runs. And he jumps on a bunch of cars to start off alarms to negate the Alpha from finding them, and then his phone goes off, and we find out it's not the Alpha, it's Derek training him. And Derek says he has to get rid of Allison because to be able to turn it into a werewolf and control it, you have to be angry. You have to tap into that primal state to control this. And Scott's trying to avoid Allison, and he goes to talk to Allison, and they wind up fooling around, and then Allison's aunt, Kate Argent, comes in and tells her about her history because she's doing a project at school about her family history, and then Kate tells her how their ancestors was going after this werewolf in France, and an Argent killed this werewolf because this werewolf attacked his family, the first ones that the werewolf killed. And then Scott leaves, and he is trying to avoid Allison during school, and he keeps running away from her. And finally, at the coach's class, the coach is drilling him because he got the D, and his heart rate's getting up and getting out of control, and she holds his hand, and his heart rate goes down. And this whole time, Styles has been trying to figure out how they control his heart rate, how they can control turning into a werewolf. And he's been training him on his own, and he finds this out whenever Allison holds his hand, and he figures out a plan to take Scott to the parking lot, and then Styles keys this guy's truck and blames it on Scott, and these guys start beating down Scott, and his heart rate's getting up, and he's about to turn into a werewolf. Then he thinks about Allison and calms down. Now they're in detention, and Scott's late for work, but while this is happening, Derek goes to see Scott's boss because Derek thinks Scott's boss is the Alpha. And if you watch the seasons, you know this is the truth. Well, he knows about werewolves, but we'll touch on that in the next couple of seasons. But he's not the Alpha, and Scott stops him from torturing his boss, and he controls his werewolf powers. He's able to transform into a werewolf on his own and then untransform. And then they come up with this plan to trap the Alpha to the school, and at first Scott tries to howl just regularly in the microphone and in the PA system, and it's pathetic, and then he taps into his werewolf part of him, and he howls and attracts the Alpha to the school, and the Alpha uses his claws and stabs Derek and makes it look like Derek's dead, and then he goes after Styles and Scott, and that's all that happened on this week's episode. My question for y'all is, do y'all think Derek is dead? As always, Richard, and I'll be signing out. Guys, you awesome. This has been another episode of Retro TV 91. See y'all next time.